So I'm making this video by request of how to load vehicles on a car hauler. I have a 7-car hauler. If I only have enough room, say for example I have big and long vehicles, I could only put 6 like pickups. But that's a 9-car hauler over there, that's a 9-car hauler. This is a 7-car hauler, Cottrell. And first of all, before you do anything, I won't go into too much detail, but find out how you're going to load it, how you're going to fit between length and height, because of bridges you need to be less than 13 feet 6 inches. But also I'm going to put this one in what we call here the belly area, the inside there. This one's short, I'm going to put it in the back bottom. This one is only 183 inches. It's going to be right up there, and the second one of the Genesis G70 is going to be over there. So basically I'm putting the smallest one, and rather longer one, then the biggest one of the belly, which is that Hyundai Palisade. That Kona is small, going to put it in there and over there. Let's see. But when you decide on how it's going to be ordered, find out in your yard where it's parked. And well, what I mean by that is where you should park your vehicle, because you usually have shuttle drivers who could bring you to your other vehicles, and to save you time, park your truck closest to where 2, 3, or 4 or more are going to be parked in one space. So I had some of these around this area, a few rows that way, one down this row, and one right there. The other ones are super far, so a shuttle driver is going to bring me there. But first thing you have to do, extremely important, you have to verify the VIN, okay? And once you verify that is part of your load, no one else has that, just keep it there. Verify at least the last 4 digits, preferably the last 6. The first whatever is pretty much the same. A lot of vehicles have the same like manufacturers, where it came from or whatever, but verify the last 4 or 6. And then after that you have to go around there, and especially in sedans you have to put your hand under here, because a lot of people drive too fast and bottom out the bumper, okay? And then you just have to go up and down and make sure there's no scratches or dents. It doesn't take that long. Other times, if you're not sure, just spit on the back of your hand and rub it out. Usually it will come out, but if there's a scratch or a dent, you just have to mark it in your app. Remember, you have to check on these all down here. And if it's good, you check it off on your app, and then you just park it by your vehicle or just immediately load it. I'm waiting for my shuttle driver to come here so I can load some. Otherwise, these would be on here already, okay? Because you have to think about where you're going to go and how you're going to unload this. For me, this is going to be 2 stops, so these are going to be getting off of my truck first. Okay, my first stop is going to be there in that very first spot. Excuse me, my second stop when I drop it off tomorrow is going to be in that last spot. So these are going to be unloaded first, the bottom, okay? These are going to be unloaded first, and then the top, and then the last vehicle, boom, that's going to be at that last stop tomorrow. So anyway, when I load, I just make sure that the tires, when I'm driving, I stick my head out this window, the driver's side window, and make sure the tire lines up with the edge of this ramp. And for smaller vehicles, not like the Palisade but like Konas, they will be okay just lining up here, and then you won't fall off the other side. Good rule of thumb, you just have to know where to stop, and that just comes from experience. Keep about 1.5 to 2 fists in between each vehicle, sometimes one vehicle if you make the straps very tight, and you need 4 straps per every vehicle, or else you get in trouble. And lots of times straps will fall off when you're driving if it's not tight enough, and cars can fall off your truck if you don't have 4 straps. Just be paranoid. It's not worth putting less than 4 straps. I'm just going to say that. I've never done less than 4 straps, allegedly. Let's see, and of course that's basically it. With this one, this has not many hydraulic handles. I got a few here, okay? That's more advanced stuff. I could bring this one up and down if I need to bring down the heights, and I can bring this deck up and then this deck up, and that last switch brings this ramp and the bottom in and out. Because sometimes if you're in a very uphill, downhill area, you don't want that to scrape. Like where I park every night, I need to bring that ramp in. Anyway, that's basic car hauling. That's it. God bless. Bye. Also for sedans, you know how I said to check under here, especially Elantras, they're usually lower, minivans too, but you also got to check under here because that could bottom out as well. But again, verify the VIN, very, very important, and make sure the car starts, because if the car doesn't start, you're kind of crap out of luck. You have to contact the shuttle driver to see if they have a jumper box, or you should have your own. Not every place allows jumper boxes, but always have one just in case in a yard that allows it, and make sure you have one that's powerful enough. And always mind your speed, because some people can get tickets for going like over 20 miles an hour in this yard, for example, and some other yards they don't care. Just don't hit anyone. Drive around with your hazards on, and I will show you how to load this vehicle. I'll stick my head out the window. Ready? Another tip, you need these bait tags that are in each vehicle when you leave, so that when you leave in the guard shack, the security guard shack, you let them know that the VIN here matches the vehicle you are taking, so they put in their system that it's taken. So sometimes, I did this one time, never again, I took the wrong vehicle. For some reason the bait tag was correct, but the vehicle was wrong. It happens, it's rare, but it happens. Also, when you back out, always have those hazards. I think I mentioned that already, but very important when you do that. And you honk when you back out, because some people have their earphones on the whole time, and some people are speeding when they're not supposed to. So you can't control other people, especially four wheels on the road. Just control you. Go slower and assume that people are dumb drivers. Okay? So again, bait tag. And I'm going to show you how to load a vehicle with the tires matching the holes on your ramp. Okay? And pro tip, I'll show you the bars that I put at the end of my ramp, so that I know, because I'm paranoid. You want to be more paranoid with this stuff. I put bars at the end of my ramp, kind of like 2x4s. One of them is metal, but whatever. It keeps me from having the front bumper bottom out. Okay, I'll show you the bars in a minute, well, in a few seconds, and me loading the vehicle. All right, real quick, see that vehicle? It's because of length and height that they're doing it backwards, and that length of the pickup in the back, that little bed, is better it's forward like that. Usually people do it backwards in the top position like that, mainly for height and for it to fit. So these are things you just have to do. Now let me show you this. Okay, that's me. I already parked the first one, and I already put some straps in the front tire before I loaded the vehicle, because I knew that's where it's going to be. Okay, now like I said before, I put bars, 2x4s in the front. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, that way I know it's not going to bottom out. Now let me show you this. I'm just going to align my tire towards the edge of that ramp, and I eventually have the edge of my tire line up with the outside holes there. Okay, just in the outside line of those holes. See that? Here's a closer view. Okay, that's where it should be pretty much the whole time. Now just line that the whole time, and you really won't fall off. Okay, just pay attention, go slow. See that distance? I want it to be about 1.5 feet. That's about 2. That's pretty much what you want. Alright, I'm going to show you a little trick. See, when you load up vehicles like this a lot, like the Honda CR-V 2025 is 183 inches. This Genesis GV70 is about 183 inches too. If you load these all the time, you know what the tire position is going to end at. I don't even really need to look forward. Look at the tires here, and when I'm about to get close to that vehicle, I'm actually looking back here, okay, to see where that tire ends up. So I'm going to get close, And then I'm going to see that that tire ends up exposing this hole where I could hook up my strap right where that hole is, pretty much exactly where I want to be there. And that should show that I'm about a fist and a half away from that Genesis, which is all you need. Always park and put parking brake on. This is a Genesis GB70. It's about the size of an Elantra, 183 inches. See, that's the whole hook point I'm going to use. And when we go up here, see, exactly where I want it, about a fist and a half, max 2 inches. You want it in between 1 to 2 fists all the time, so that's a fist and a half, 2 fists. Okay, so you want it like that to give yourself enough wiggle room to strap, and when you're raising the decks, the cars aren't crashing into each other. Okay, so that's exactly where I want it. All right, there's a pro tip for you. All right, same thing with the Sonata. It's about, I didn't put this on. Some people leave their certain music when they're putting it in these spaces, but same thing with the Sonata. I know it's about 192, 193 inches. There's my trailer. And by the way, these are tips for a 7-car hauler. So I have this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to, oh, my shuttle person's here. I'll show you this really quickly. I'm gonna get out, line the tires to the ramp, okay? And then go slowly, line the tires to those holes, go up, and then I go up, and I stop pretty much there. So I have the hook point right there, exactly where I want, and the hook point back there. And I know I have about 3 fists in the front. I'm gonna show you that real quick. Parking brake on, hazards off, windows up, engine off, and I have way more than the allotted necessary 1 to 2 fists of length. See, I got about 3 to 4 fists, predictable. All right, and I have hook points there and there for easy loading later. Just comes with experience. All right, there's another tip for you. Okay, next now is with these controls. These first 2, I'm going to raise these decks. This one, the second one, does that. Okay. I have a pretty fast PTO. PTO is basically pump. This first one does this hydraulic here. And for me, I count about 32 holes. Well, 37, and then I put my pin inside the hole so it doesn't slam down. It usually never does, but you want to be safe. Each mark here is 2nd, 12th, and it goes 22, 32, then count from there. But basically, just kind of max it out and just go just shy of that. So, hold on. When you have 4 straps, you can make this thing even like about 45 degrees. It won't fall off, especially when the straps are tight. But for me, I know it's maxed out because it'll go up and then stop, and then you just back off immediately because you don't want to break a hose. There you go. See how it went tuk tuk, and then I stopped and backed off. There's that hole there, 2nd, 12th, 22, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. And I stop it there. I marked it at 37. Then I take my pin. This is just a pin right now. I'm gonna get another one. Just put it there, and then put it a couple inches above so it stays there, so those don't fall when you're going down. Oh, I need to bring this in because when I park it, it's kind of an uphill. I don't want those ramps to bottom out. So bring it back to a certain point. Almost there. Almost. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of perfect because I counted from here for me for experience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bet the 5th one is perfect, but I could do a little bit more so it doesn't bottom out much. As long as I'm past 4.5, which is right there, I'm good. But that's just this trailer and my lifestyle, okay? For most of y'all, that doesn't matter. You could probably extend it quite far out. But you have to think about the weights of the axles too. if your cars are way back there, it's going to put more weight into your trailer tires, and if you get pulled over at the weigh station, they might just want to weigh you just because you're a little bit overweight. Most of the time you won't be. That guy might be, but whatever. We'll see. I'll show you more tips loading these in a minute. So with the vehicles that are going to be in this bottom deck of my trailer, make sure the mirrors are folded in, because if it's a wide one like this, not so much those Konas back there, but a big one like this Palisade, 68 inches tall, you're going to want to... Oh man, I thought that was a crack. It's just a webbing. I don't know if you can see that webbing. Oh gosh. Anyway, want to keep the mirrors folded in. Now, watch. Start it. Hazards on. Drive. Okay. A little slow. Creep around the corner. Past the wheel. Back check. Now, again, bring the tires at that one spot, the last whole edge, but since this is a bigger vehicle, I'm just going to align, especially almost all the vehicles in the bottom deck. The decks are a little bit more inside, so what you want to do is align, watch this, align the tires to the edge of the ramp, and also the very edge of all of these ramps, and go slow, okay? 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour is slow. Okay, now see, it's lined up to the very edge of that here. Put it closer. There. Whoop. Because I know on the other side, just through experience, the other tire is pretty much rubbing the edge of the other side too. Okay, so this is going to rub. The wheels won't rub, but the tires will rub. So at least on this side, I can see everything there. I can't see everything on the other side, on the passenger side. But here I can see it's rubbing the edge, and I can keep control of that. And then that's that wall. I just know if I just lightly go down and just say I could see the hole right there, that's my hole attachment point. I'm just going to put in park now. And park and brake. Park and brake is very important. All right, now watch. I'm going to show you how much distance I have in the front. Turning this off. See, with this 68-inch high vehicle, I have that much space. You don't want to put anything above 75 inches in this space, because with the shocks and the suspension, it could hit the top. So 76, 77, 78. Don't park it in here. Like a Tundra, 78 inches will scrape that like crazy. Okay, so this is 68 inches. 4Runners are like 71, 72 inches. That's fine. Anyway, here's the space in between here. 1 to 2 fists. This is about 1.5 to 2 fists. That's what you want. Then you want to tighten these bad boys. This spot, this hook never leaves that spot, because every vehicle, it just stays right there. Okay, and I'll show you these next two vehicles. Okay, just because of experience, I know where to put these hooks, and they basically never leave that spot if I have basically the same vehicle stopping at that point. Okay, the tire is also going to stay right here, so that's why I have that strap there and that strap already there. It's on the right side because I want space to get out over here. Those driver's side tires are actually going to be coming down this, so I'm going to see two holes at the same time, because it's a skinnier Kona. If it were a CRV, I'd have it go down the first, but then after that I'd have it go down 1.5. So I have enough space here, and and then that right tire is going to be exactly here on this line and won't hit this. Very important. And the side mirrors, the widest part of the vehicle, doesn't hit that. All right, and as far as all those straps, don't ask. Okay, getting in the Hyundai Kona. Hazards, drive, boom, let's go. Oh, hazards on. That guy's backing his in. I'm going to do that right now too. Let's watch him from his angle. Yep, just back up slowly, and his head's out of his window, just watching his tires. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, gonna bring my foot there because I need to push off to bring my lats against this door. Then I line myself up. I look at the rear view mirror to see that I am lined up. Okay, I am. See that? Now, reverse. I can put my hazards off at this point. And now, remember, tire at the edge of the ramp to start. And maybe, since it's a Kona, a couple inches inside. I just line it up with that last hole there, just like that. Go slow. Line it up with the last hole. Let's go inside a lot more. Cut in. Cut in. Some more. Now I'm at the second hole. Thing there. And then this tire is going to be right there. We're showing 2 holes, and I'm going to leave enough space for where the strap is under there on the right side of that tire. And on the other side, I'll show you. Watch. Park. Hazard. Again, parking brake. Bring this up. Hazards off. Shut off vehicle. I have all these cushions here, pro tip, so I could just do that. Not be worried at all about it scratching the door. Also, whenever I leave this point, I do 4 or 5 pull-ups, so I'm gonna do that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now, see, the hook is already there. Hook point, and to the other side, let me show you. See, that's there. That hook is exactly where it's supposed to be. Right there. And see, this tire is aligned right here. You just know that from experience. Side mirror is not going to hit that. Okay? And then, I should probably show you some strapping at least once. Okay. So, there's the hook for that. And I'm going to hook the other ones here. I'll show you on this one. Okay, hook is already on there because I knew where it was going to be. And then I make sure I have control of the strap the whole time. I put this in front of the tire about 6 inches. Any of these hooks can damage the car or the wheel. Okay, so you put these rubbers on top of the tire. Okay, above the middle like this, above the middle like that. Okay, these folds stay on top just so it's for better grip. This is twisted, so straighten it out. I put it right there close to the tire just in case it wants to move forward. If I have to brake hard for any reason, if someone cuts me off, then it won't go forward that much. Straighten this out. And I put this anywhere there, because the most important is this one and that one to be around the middle of the tire. Okay, that's where that is. And then there's different types of straps. There's this one, then there's the one that hooks around here, which I have in a couple spots, like right there. Then you use a bar to tighten it. Okay. But with this one, I have this type. We're changing all of these to the strap one here, which I have right there. Okay. Anyway, you use a lot of force, pretty much as you can, to make this very taut. Okay. Now I'll strap all of these and then I'll show you how I load the last one, which you pretty much know by now. Line the tire up with the holes. All right, hold on. Okay, that guy has a 5 car wedge. You can get a 3 car wedge. Again, this is a 7 car wedge. There's 5, there's 9. Of course, if you get more like a 7 or 9 car wedge, of course you get more money per unit depending on how far you're going, okay? And the thing is, yes, it's fine. The thing is you have more maintenance, okay? Like hydraulics can go out, have spare hydraulics. Of course, with any vehicle have extra tires, but hydraulics can go out, decks, whatever, air hoses, just so many more components. In the 3 car wedge, there's none of these hydraulics, so you could do more runs, and it's great for shorter runs, and you could load faster. But you know, with a 9 car hauler, like most people, like Stingers we call them, 7 car haulers, you could, yes, make more money per, but you know, you just kind of pick whatever you like. Do you do a lot of preventive maintenance? Then you probably want a 9 car hauler. You could do, you know, from here to Green Bay and make a bunch, like, you know, maybe $1,000, and let's see, versus me to Green Bay could be like $750, $800, because I'm just doing 7 car hauler. So you just kind of pick your poison, just whatever you can afford for trailer, loans, whatever, how old it is, quality. Anyway, that's just some things for thoughts. And you know, if you want a 3 car hauler, 5, 7, 9, just whatever you want, and where you're going to park it, can it fit, maintenance, can you fix everything. There's so many decks on a 9 car hauler and more decks on a 7, and of course less than a 5 and a 3. Anyway, let's go back to loading. If you remember, the other tire on the other side for this Palisade was rubbing that side, and again, it's fine because it's the rubber tire and not the wheel. Okay, so anyway, that's hooked on, and that's very, very tight. Now let's load this bad boy and lower the decks and be on our way. Oh, and by the way, I'm in Chicago. The Green Bay destinations from Green Bay to Chicago. So I know it also depends on how big the units are, because, you know, if you have 6 units versus 7, because you can only fit 6 pickups versus... Okay, very last thing, when you lower the decks, make sure that they're about 2 fists, a fist and a half minimum, especially if they're a smaller car, if they're like a Tacoma or something, like a pickup truck that has a lot of good shocks. When you're bumping on the road or potholes or whatever, you know, you want it to be more than that, but you have chains in the bottom usually for those, so you keep the car from bouncing a lot. But with this, they're just Konas, and about 2 fists is fine, 6 inches, that's fine. So that's as low as you want it, so you don't damage those vehicles there. And these have to be strong in there, okay? You ain't gonna pull that out, okay? Anywho, that's pretty much some basics of car hauling. There's my load. Boom, boom, boom. I'm done. Hope that helped.